Yes, I hope all well at your end.
Yes, ma'am, all good.
All right, so we will just have a look at the final, practice session, the evaluation. Okay. Before that, we'll just have a bit of revision of what we did. All right. So that you can read the theories about it and then you can go ahead with the evaluation sheet that has been given to you. Zainab is a cat lover, right? Yes, Zainab.
Yes, ma'am.
Bobby, your microphone is on.
All right. So, how many cats do you have back at home?
Two. One name is
Yes.
Lala and other name is Shadow.
Your voice is very faint. I'm not being able to hear you properly.
Just a minute. Mm,
Bobby, your microphone is on.
Madam, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
Hello, you're
Namaskar.
actually visible.
Students, one announcement. You tomorrow you have a class at 11 o'clock. Okay, BFDI 73 paper. Okay, so instead of 13, we are shifted to 9th. So tomorrow you do join on 11 a.m. for the 73 paper. Right? Is it all right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Continue, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So, we'll have a briefing session today, okay, about the practical paper that you are going to do on 20th. I'm sharing my screen right now. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes,
it's visible.
Yeah. So this is basically what we are going to look at is whatever you have studied, okay, that we are going to accumulate all of it in the form of a practical workbook. All right. The first activity that we are going to look at is the different types of tools and equipments that we need for drawing. Okay, now this is not only drawing but also for the entire course. When you look into the fashion design, how you use the tools for different kinds of performances, that we are going to look into. Activity 2 will be comprising of elements of design. Third activity will be comprising of principles of design. Fourth will be consisting of fashion sketching, garment components and categories. And the fifth will be a CAD workshop, which will be based on the activity that needs to be very thorough with the software. Okay, Photoshop. All right. So here in this, we will see what are the different types of tools. All right. The first tool that you require for a drawing is what?
Paper.
Paper. Yes, the your canvas itself. Now when we look back to the history, we see different types of scrolls. Okay, so paper or the canvas used to be developed out of the old clothes, like we see in the scroll paintings across different indigenous communities. And we also see different types of papers, okay, used as their canvas. But for when we are looking into a very contemporarized topic like fashion designing, we go for different varieties of papers again. It's not just normal A3 sheet or A2 cartridge sheet, but different types of papers, are required, or it can be utilized for getting different kinds of effect onto the garment. All right, so when we look into it, the first type of paper is the cold pressed paper. Okay, this has a texture on it, very uneven surface, and is very thicker. Have you heard of handmade sheets?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, handmade sheets are basically, they are, recycled papers which have a very thick texture, okay, bumpy kind of a texture, and it is very absorbent. So if water falls onto it, it absorbs and it itself becomes very thicker. Okay, so that is the kind of cold pressed sheet. Okay, this is the reason why watercolor and paint, you know are basically used to develop the um, artwork onto these papers. I had a few examples of such papers. I'll look for it and give it to you, give you a view of it in the later half of this class. Okay, then we have cartridge sheet, which is a normal sheet which we use for printing purpose, and which we very conveniently use for the pencil drawings. Okay, different types of colors like your oil pastels, watercolors, your pencil line drawings. Okay, all these kind of artwork can be developed on a cartridge sheet. Then we have ivory sheets. Okay, ivory sheets are basically meant for mounting the things. Okay, when we do something, when we develop any swatch, we mount it so that it is presentable. Okay, that kind of a paper is used for presentation purpose. And at the same time, if you want it to be used as your canvas, then there are mediums like chalk powders, chalk pastels, or you have pen drawings, okay, or nib sketches. These kind of artwork can be developed in the ivory sheets. Okay, then you have charcoal paper, where you have different varieties of textures. Okay, there you basically do the charcoal paintings, okay, which is done using a charcoal stick. Then we have tracing papers. Tracing papers are basically transparent papers, okay, and these are used for your transfer of motifs from the printed sheet, and then transferring it to the different types of garments. Now this can also be represented as representation of fabric. Okay, like tissues, chiffons, organzas. These kind of fabrics can be represented through the tracing sheets. Okay, let me give you an example of these. I hope I'm visible to everyone. Please pin my. Is my camera visible to you? Yes. So
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
see this is how we represent. This is a simple your paper where different variety. This is a the printing cartridge paper, okay, and it has been printed, and then this has been represented as a illustration, or this is how you can use different types of papers for presenting representation of your drawings, okay. And this is, you can see, the tracing sheet. Okay, so the tracing sheet has been used as a tissue fabric to represent the garments. All right, now these are the just paper folding. So along with your papers and artwork, drawing, along with the drawing, you have used also the 3D papers to represent your garments. All right, and these are multimedia work. So along with your pastels, along with your watercolors, these kind of papers can also be uh, shown to represent your croquis. Okay, this is one more example. You can see how here you can see the paper, fabric has been used to give it a here the bulkiness. Okay, so this is how you can use different types of papers, printed or hand colored, and the representation can be done. Okay, I hope all of you are being able to see. This is a glossy sheet where it has been painted and then cut out, and the cutout has been pasted on a glossy sheet. All right, then we have, these are again papers, printed papers pasted over the papers to give a representation. And this is a fabric which has been used on the paper background. All right, and this is a handmade paper which I was speaking about, recycled paper. All right, all right. Now, when we look into the papers, tracing paper is the transparent sheet, which is basically used either for transfer of motifs or for different types of representations. Okay, these kind of paper representation can also help you in drawing, or representing your work. So drawing is not only one way of representation in a fashion design theories. You can use multimedias, you can use different cutouts and then make it a collage and then represent it as your design, or you can use different fabrics, create it as a patchwork, and then over the fabric you can post it to represent your imagination or your creativity. So along with paper, different unconventional materials can also be used as a means of representation. Now next is your pencil. That is one of the very important thing. Okay, and we have different types of pencils which are used for your drawings. Okay, here we have H, okay, which indicates a hard lid. Okay, so basically when we look into the pencils, you have different types of lids, because the lid which is there in the pencil gives, it's a kind of a carbon which lets you write down, and the darkness of that pencil depends on the number of the lid that is there. Okay, so it ranges from 2H to 12H. You have the normal writing pencil that we have is a HB. Now during the lockdown, when kids stayed back at home, HB was not visible. Okay, so extra dark pencil came in, which does not have a number, but when we go and we say about extra dark pencils to the stationery shop, they will give you a extra dark. It does not have a number. But for representation of drawings in an artistic field, we have, the pencils whose lids ranges are mentioned. All right, so we have 6H pencil, which is harder than the 2H pencil, and 2H produces a light line. Okay, 6H gives you a darker line, so the 2H gives you minimum dark, and 12H gives you the most darkest mark on the paper. Okay, similarly, we have soft lids, which is denoted by the term B. Okay, H speaks about the hardness of the lid, and B speaks about the softness of that lid. So that also ranges from 2B to 12B. Okay, the most darkest is your 12B, and 2B is the least darker. Okay, then we have HB here. HB indicates a blend of both hard and soft, and we use HB as our normal writing pencil, which is used by the students. Okay, school students for the writing purpose. Then we have micro tip pencils. Okay, this pencil looks like a pen, but it is actually a clutch pencil. And this we can also call it as an engineering pencil. Okay, engineered pencil, you can say. So here we have small, we just have a lid, and it is like a refill one. You can have refills, lids which are lighter, and these are used basically for the engineered drawings. Okay, I hope all of you can relate it to the pencils that is available with you, and I hope all of you might have seen it. Or do you want me to give you some examples, show you the examples of these pencils?
No, ma'am.
All right. These days, we also have so many different varieties of pencils. You have recycled, and pencils which are plantable. So once you complete your, you know, using the pencil, you can throw it in the ground, and it will give you chili. Seeds will be there, so chili plant will grow from there. So these are the sustainable greenwashing. Okay, so other than this, we have charcoal pencils and charcoal sticks. So charcoal sticks are available in the market. Very rarely we find charcoal pencil, because the lid charcoal is very soft and it often breaks. So we have these charcoal sticks which are available, and these are exclusively used for making charcoal paintings. Okay, which is nothing but it is a black and white image, where on white paper charcoal stick is used to create a black and white artwork. I'll give you an example for this. I have a charcoal painting, so let me show you. Yes, can you see this? It's a charcoal
Yes,
work.
ma'am.
Okay, where you have used a charcoal stick to create the artwork. So it does, with time it fades away, because it is, the charcoal has powdered carbon on it, and it has the tendency to fall down, and this becomes, kind of a, it diminishes with time. Okay, so varnishing is done over it so that it remains permanent. All right. Yes, after this we have colored pencils. Okay, these are color pencils which are also water soluble. So you have water soluble color pencils are there, so which can be, these colors can be used to color, and then using a brush and water you can convert these crayons into a watercolor effect. Okay, so colored pencils are again either wax based, or that can be soluble, water soluble, or you can also have oil based color pencils. Okay, so these multimedia can be used to depict your drawings. Then we have different types of pens available. We have gel pens, we have roller ball pens, we have techno point pens, we have ballpoint pens, we have fountain pens. Okay, earlier we used to use fountain pens for writing, but these days all of those have been replaced by the ballpoint pens. Okay, so when you go for a uh, fountain pen, they have again different types of tips, okay, with different thickness on their nib. All right. Then we have marker pens. Now these are again CD marker pens with different, classroom marker pens. You have permanent markers, you have temporary markers, you have glass markers, you have metal markers, you have stone markers. So different medias, on different medias different types of marker pens are used. Okay, and in the classroom we go for a temporary markers which are of different colors, because it has to be erased on the board. These days smart boards are there, so we are also avoiding our marker pens. All right, then we have water soluble colors, we have inks. Okay, we used to have watercolor cakes earlier. In the lower classes we used to use that, but now when you go to the higher, professional coloring or professional representations of your artwork, you go for a ink. Okay, so you have drawing inks which can be, colored using nibs, or even brushes can be used to transfer the colors. Okay, we have gouache. Okay, gouache is again a thicker watercolor. Okay, this is much more thicker, it is viscous in nature, and these are available in tubes. Okay, so what you do is you mix water to it and then you color it. Okay, then we have poster paints. Poster paints are again used for basically your paper medium, but when you do a uh, color work on the fabric you go for acrylic colors. Okay, then we have brushes. I hope I have made myself clear on the different types of color mediums that we have.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. When we go for brush, we basically have, two varieties of brushes. That is your round tip brush and a flat tip brush. Okay. So in the round tip brush, we do the artwork, but on the flats, we create the background. Okay. So there are different varieties of brushes. Again, these days you use different types of brushes which are either made of acrylic or they are made of hair, to give a good performance on the coloring process. Okay, you have natural sever hair brushes also. These are expensive, but it has a good effect on the paper. All right. Then we have erasure, scale, and then palette. These are the things that can be considered into your art process. All right. And here, when you study about the entire thing, you have to answer the questions. Like you can you already have this practical paper with you. So the first question that comes here is, what type of pencil should be used for detailed drawings? All right, now what kind of a detailed drawing do you want? Detailed means it has lots of lines, okay, and to what extent you want these shades, okay, and what are the places where you want it to be highlighted. So based on the type of leads, either hardness, softness of the leads, you will have to answer this, okay, which kind of lead should be used, and you have to justify your answer, you have to give reasons for your answer. All right, I hope all of you have understood what this question means.
Yes, ma'am.
Second question comes, which paper type is helping for making copy of designs or making corrections, and why? Did you get the question? Say you want to make, you have made one design, okay, now you want to transfer these designs to 5 other papers, then what paper will you use to transfer these designs?
Tracing paper, ma'am.
Tracing paper, yes, and making corrections also. So you will require a transparent medium so that you can see what is incorrect there and you can do the rectification. All right, so that is what is required here. Which paper type is helpful for making copy of designs or making corrections, and why? That is what you have to answer here in your own words. Which kind of paper is appropriate for applications of watercolor, and why? This is the next question. All right, so you have already studied about the different types of papers, which are thicker or which are thinner or which are transparent, okay, which is readily absorbing, okay, and if you are using a watercolor, what is the tendency that the paper should have? All right, based on that you have to answer this. What are the preferred qualities of a good paint brush, and why? Okay, again you will have to refer back to the theory that has been given, and just before some time I explained you about the brushes, flat brushes, round brushes, the types of materials on which these brushes have been made. That has to be taken into account to answer this question. Then which of the color medium gives translucence, okay, that is transparency, whether it is watercolor or poster color? You have to think and then answer this question as well. All right, I hope all of you are clear about the mediums of colors and the paper.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the second part is on the elements of design. We studied about how many elements of design in the second class? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, how many elements of design are there? I gave you a
Seven,
presentation,
ma'am.
I gave
Seven.
you a PPT on this in the group. 7, yes. So, about all the questions which will be in this section will be based on the elements of design. Line is the first element of design that we look into. So, you have to name the different types of lines that is available here. Name the following lines according to their sequences below. So, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you have till G, you have the space where you need to write about the different types of lines. Okay. Then use any of the lines above to depict one of the following themes and use the next box for your drawing. Okay. So you have a box here. In this you have to use any of the lines. Okay. And you have to create a drawing in this area. Okay. That is your question number 2. 2.1.2. All right. Then here, bold, uncertain, focused. Okay, these are the three types of lines that needs to be developed into any of the compositions. So here you have an example, okay, how it can be developed. The next question is refer to the following pictures and develop a new drawing by using various lines to depict one of the aspects. Okay, so you have contours, you have gestures, you have structure, you have sketch, and you have outline. I was speaking about outline, yes. So based on these line textures, okay, based on these aspects of lines, you have to develop a new drawing. Okay, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have to give answer to that question. The next question is what is a line? Describe any three types of lines. All right, that is about line. Second EOD is your shape. So what is a shape? Draw two different types of shapes. Now you have to draw any two different types of shapes. That can be a organic shape, that can be a inorganic shape, that can be a geometrical shape. Okay, any kind of a shape needs to be developed for this question. So here you need to put your drawing. Okay, the next question is develop a composition using the shape tool. Okay, so whatever shape you have developed there, based on that shape you have to develop a composition. Composition is it can be overlapping with each other or it can be separate. Okay, that is not mentioned. So you just have to create a amalgamation of, compositions together. Name the following forms. What are these forms? Yes, you studied about form and shape. Okay, so you will have to remember the 2D aspect of it, the 3D aspect of it, and then accordingly name these shapes. Third element is your texture. So what is a texture? What do you understand about texture? You have to create three types of textures on the box below. So here you have to create three types of texture. Yes, now these textures can be 3D, it can be 2D. As I was speaking in the last class, you can also use unconventional materials to develop these textures. The examples just before some time, I showed you some of the illustrations which were based out of the theory of textures. Okay, it was a 3D texture, it was a 3D form of representation. So instead of just drawing it on a 2D surface, 3D, three dimension was created by usage of multiple types of materials. Yes, like we saw how the bounce was created, how the crinoline was formed using the fabrics and giving a texture. Okay, so these kind of 3D textures has to be created on the surface that has been given here. All right, the next question is name the following textures. Okay, use your mobile camera to click photograph or organic texture in your surrounding. Paste at least 5 textures in the given box. So what you need to do is you need to go out. Yes, go out from your room, look into the textures which are available in your surrounding. Now that texture may be anything. It can be a simple a roads texture, it can be a wooden texture, it can be a floral texture, it can be anything. Okay, you need to click photograph of it, take out the prints and then paste it here. So you have to take 5 different creative textures. Okay, and then paste it here. If this paper is not sufficient, you can add an additional paper to this. Okay, and then you can paste it. All right, the fourth element is your space, and you have already seen about the negative space and positive space. Yes, Zainab has remembered. Yes, the face of a cat which was there in the last class. Yes, the positive space and the negative space example. Yes, so similarly you have to create an artwork where you have the usage of both positive and negative space. Now you also need to explain which one is a negative space and which one is a positive space there. So you have to make a color wheel. Color wheel, I hope all of you remember what are the components of a color wheel. You have primary colors, three primary colors, three secondary colors, and three tertiary colors along with split complementary colors. Yes. So color wheel has to be developed. Now you have to give the difference between complementary colors and analogous color using any one basic shape. Okay, so here you can take in one way, you can in one side you can write down or develop the analogous color scheme, and the other side you can develop the complementary color schemes. Okay, now in the third activity you have to speak about the principles of design, where you have balance, emphasis, movement, pattern, repetition, proportion, rhythm, and unity. Again, in balance, you have two different types of balances. Yes, symmetrical and asymmetrical. So, using the principle of balance, draw a composition within the space provided. How this principle has been used in your composition, that needs to be explained here. Okay, you need to create an artwork, a composition which will be based on the principle of balance. Yes, using the principle of emphasis, draw a composition portraying dominance and subordination within the given space. Explain how the principle has been used in your composition. So it's basically representation of your thought process in the form of text and representation of your thought process in the form of artwork. Both needs to be explained in a question like this here. Yes. The third question says click a photograph from your surrounding, identifying the principle of proportion within it, place the picture in the space here. Reflect the picture and write down your observation on the role of this principle. This has to be done here. It's question number 3.3. Yes, 3.4 says using lines, create four compositions depicting three
Excuse me, ma'am.
principles of design. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, please
Yes,
explain 3.3.
3.3. Okay. Click a picture from your surrounding. Okay. Do you understand what is the principle of proportion? Do you remember? एक साइड में बड़ा प्रोपोर्शन में एक बड़ा इमेज या बड़ा ऑब्जेक्ट का इमेज होता है, दूसरे साइड में एक छोटा इमेज होता है. इफ यू रिमेम्बर, आपने ही भेजा था एक आर्ट वर्क.
Yes, ma'am, I remember.
यस, तो वहां प्रोपोर्शन क्या था? I hope all of you can see my कि आपको proportion पे ध्यान, and there was, yes, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
I had told that when you are creating the entire composition, you have to, you know, कीप इन माइंड अबाउट द प्रोपोर्शन। तो आपने केवल एक ही फ्लावर बनाया था और यहाँ छोटा सा पत्ती दिया था, तो मैंने बोला था द प्रोपोर्शन हियर इज इन द रेशियो ऑफ 9:1। ओके, बट आप जब वो बैलेंस क्रिएट करना चाहोगे, यहाँ पर आपका कोई बैलेंस नहीं होगा, ठीक है। इसीलिए टू मेंटेन द बैलेंस इन द वर्क यू हैव टू keep an eye on the proportions of the objects that you are making in one composition. So based on this, Alka repeated this, yes, and then she balanced it. Okay, so now this has a asymmetrical proportion. Okay, and balance is there. So this can be considered as one, acceptable image. Yeah, do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is a principle of balance, proportion.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
understand it now? Or do you want me to give some more
No,
examples?
ma'am.
What you need to do here is, in this question, you have to click any one picture from your surrounding, okay, which has the principle of proportion within it. If you remember, I had sent few images where small square and rectangle boxes were there, and that was representing the different houses. Okay, each box was representing a different हाउस। उनमें आप देखो सारे जितने भी बॉक्स बने थे उनका सबका प्रोपोर्शन वाज सिमिलर। और लेट मी शो यू दैट। सो आप देखोगे इसमें, इस कॉम्पोजिशन में यू हैव सो मेनी रेक्टेंगल्स, so many leaves are here, but इनका जो shapes है, sizes जो है, proportion जो है, वो बहुत ज्यादा different नहीं है. This biggest one is having the highest space, okay, consumed, and rest of it are similar to, equal. They do not have more differences in their proportion. Similarly, here also they have balanced, it has a bigger rectangle here, so they have tried, bifurcating this entire bigger rectangle into small rectangles. So this is how you balance the proportion. Okay, and you have to click any image in the surrounding. For example, you can see here, this show proportion has been maintained. तो जब आप ओरिजिनल पिक्चर आपके सराउंडिंग से कुछ ऐसा देखोगे, उसको क्लिक करके आपको वो paste look and then paste it in your answer sheet so that you can give the examples. Like understanding process, you need to click it from the surrounding, and you have to identify the principle of proportion, why this is there. Okay, you have to place the picture in the space here, and you have to think about the picture and write down what you have observed about their proportion in the space given below. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope now I have been able to help you out. All right. So the next question says, using lines, create 4 compositions depicting 3 principles of design, namely rhythm, pattern, and repetition in each of the 4 boxes below. So you have 3, 4. 4 boxes are here. You have to create compositions. Now the image which I showed before, just before some time, is one of the composition. So similar kind of composition you need to create using 3 principles of design, that is your rhythm, pattern, and repetition. All right. and show the variations portraying the impact of all three mentioned principles. So you have to write down also. Yes. Now, the next question says, using the principle of unity, identify examples from nature and from your surroundings, and you have to you have to cut it, create, you have to paste the image here. Again, you have to explain the image of the composition. Okay. Now here this question says the principle of design. Identify the principle of design in the images given below. Yes. And you have to write down about these. So you need to understand what is the principle of design here. सारे black हैं, every other is a achromatic, only one is having two colors. What is the principle? And it is highlighting. Now you need to find it out here. What is the principle in this image? POD, principle of design. What is here? You need to understand and you need to write down about it. All right. So that is all about your elements, principles of design, and about the mediums. The next category is for sketching, okay, and the components of garment. So you have to draw the flat sketches. Now, flat sketches means this is not a flat sketch. It's a illustration.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sketch means it gives you measurement. Okay, flat sketches are something which will give you only
Ma'am, your
measurement.
voice is
Yes,
breaking.
better this side I do not have any problem. Please see your internet connectivity. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So you have to draw the flats, okay. In reference to the illustration below, identify and analyze the garments on the female fashion figure. Draw flat drawings of the same garments in the given boxes. So here you can draw the top and here you can draw the bottom. Now let me give you an example of what a flat stitch is. Okay. See, these are your flat sketches. It does not have, these are basically done for the technical purpose of it, because the merchandisers need to understand how many pieces of cuts will be made, okay, and it will be sewn into to garment. So flat sketches does not uh, speak about the representation. It just speaks about the technicality of a garment. Okay. I could not get a good image there. Let me just send it to you in a group. I have few in my phone, so I'm sending it across in the group. Okay. And in the flat, always you need to show both the um, side of it. Okay, the front side and the back side of it. So the illustration which has been given to you, you need to develop the flats for those illustration, the simplified drawings of it. All of you can please check your WhatsApp.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I hope all of you are being able to see that.
Yes, ma'am.
So these kind of sketches are called flat sketches. These are technical garments. Okay. And in this question, you have to develop a flat sketch for this illustration. Okay. This is a microscope with plates, yes, one single edge plates on the surface. So that can be represented, okay, through your technical drawing. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
The second question as well speaks about, in reference to the illustration below, identify and analyze the garments on the male fashion figure. Okay. Draw flat drawings of the same garment in the given boxes. So आप ऊपर वाले बॉक्स में शर्ट का बनाओगे, ठीक है, and नीचे वाले बॉक्स में ट्राउजर का बनाओगे, ठीक है. So you will see what is the placket, what kind of pocket does it have, what kind of sleeve does it have, ठीक है, what kind of collar does it have, वो आप यहाँ पर बनाओगे. ट्राउजर्स में आप देखोगे ये जो लाइंस होते हैं ना, डॉटेड लाइंस जो दिखाया जाता है, इसको हम स्टिच लाइन बोलते हैं, ठीक है. तो गारमेंट्स में आप कैसे फ्लैट्स में स्टिच लाइन को रिप्रेजेंट करोगे, दैट ऑल्सो needs to be shown here.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is your flat. This is your flat drawing. Okay. So now this is your illustration. It is a draped garment, draped drawing. आपने body form के ऊपर draping किया है और ये आपका flat है, ठीक है. Now इस क्वेश्चन में आपको इस गारमेंट को उस तरह बॉडी फॉर्म के ऊपर ड्रेप्ड दिखाना है. Got me? Now this has to be represented in the form of illustration which is developed here. ठीक है, एक फीमेल फिगर के ऊपर आप इसको प्लेस करोगे, ठीक है. So you have to develop a female figure template, drape the given garment on the figures. Okay. Now this has to be put over the drape, over the female figure. Now I can help you out with it. There are several types of female templates available in the Pinterest. आप देख सकते हो. There's an app called Pinterest. Okay, it's a site जहां पर आप लोग female different types of inspirations you will find from Pinterest. How many of you know about Pinterest?
नहीं मैम.
आप लोग उसमें आपको फीमेल फिगर्स के टेम्पलेट्स मिलेंगे. आप वो टेम्पलेट्स को लेकर you can develop these garments onto those templates. ठीक है, I'm sending you one example of it. So this is the female figures template. I have sent it across. Please check. And on this template, you have to draw this garment. Okay. तो आप इसे lighter ये में रखोगे और उसके ऊपर आप ये draw करोगे and then you will color it. ठीक है. Now drape the given garment on the figure. Complete the illustration by using mixed media techniques to add color and dimension. ठीक है. Did you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What about the boys? Boys are not responding to me. विनीत, कहाँ हो आप?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
You understood, right?
Yes.
All right. So you have a time till 20th of this month. Enjoy your vacations along with completing your these assignments as well. And in case of any doubt, you can reach me out in your WhatsApp group so that I can reply back to your doubts and clear your doubts. All right. I hope all of you have been able to understand what is there in the evaluation sheet. Yes. I haven't seen Minakshi. I know Vineet, Nikita is always there, Zainab is always there, Joseph, Francis, I know. Minakshi, I do not know. Yes?
मैम, ये जो हमें असाइनमेंट मतलब बनाना है, ये बुक में ही फिल करें या फिर अलग से एक प्रोजेक्ट तैयार करें?
So all of you can please switch on your camera.
मैम, ये जो आपने ये क्वेश्चन थ्योरी क्वेश्चंस हैं
Yes,
और ये जो
Zainab.
प्रैक्टिकल है, ये हम अलग से किसी मतलब फाइल बनाए इसकी अलग से या फिर इसी बुक में ही हम लोग करने हैं?
आप अलग से बनाओ, अगर आपको स्पेस नहीं सफिशिएंट नहीं लगता है तो आप
मैम
अलग
क्योंकि
से
अगर
बनाओ, बट दिस शुड बी एसोसिएट, आप इसे एज एनेक्शंस दे सकते हो. ठीक है. आपका जो स्पेस है उसमें आप प्रॉपर नंबरिंग करके एज एनेक्शंस दोगे एंड ऑल ऑफ यू नीड टू scan this answer booklet and send it across to me for evaluation on the 20th. आई कोई अपना अपना वर्क अपलोड कर देना. आर यू accessible
Ma'am,
to Google
please
Drive?
add me also in WhatsApp group.
Yes, I can.
Ma'am, you are not audible properly.
Add WhatsApp group. Who is
मैम निकिता इज एडमिन.
मैम, इसमें 5 एक्टिविटीज हैं, ये सभी
Yes.
कंप्लीट करनी है. मैम, इसमें आपके वर्कबुक में 5 एक्टिविटीज हैं, ये सभी
Sorry,
कंप्लीट करनी है.
विनीत. फिर करने हैं, सभी करने हैं. कंप्लीट नहीं करोगे तो इवैल्यूएशन कैसे होगा?
ओके.
आपको टाइम पे तो मिल रहा है. टुडे इज 8 और आपका 20 तारीख को है सबमिशन. यू हैव 12 days. यस. यस विनीत, समझ में आया?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay.
कविता, you okay? Kanak,
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Yes,
Kanak.
ma'am.
I hope you are clear
Yes,
on the
ma'am. Yes,
evaluation
ma'am.
process. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
मैम
Ruby.
मैम प्लीज रिपीट।
Yes, ma'am.
20th तक सबमिट कराना है, ये है। कैसे सबमिट कराना है?
ये आप जो भी बनाओगे उसको आप स्कैन करोगे और उसको पीडीएफ कन्वर्ट करोगे, ठीक है? पीडीएफ कन्वर्ट करके आप मुझे भेज दीजिएगा, हम इवैल्यूएट करेंगे।
मैम आपकी आवाज बीच पे से ब्रेक हो रही थी, तो समझ नहीं आया
फोटो
कि आप
खींचकर
मुझे।
भेजना है मुझे
ओके
पीडीएफ
ओके
फॉर्मेट में।
ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू।
मैम वर्ड में बना सकते हैं क्या?
Yeah, it can be done
तो
on Word as well. If you copy this exact thing in the Word and you are able to edit it, then it is fine, no problem for me.
ओके ओके
Those who are aware of using Word, you can copy this file into Word and Word में आप बना सकते हो उसको, आपको जितना स्पेस चाहिए उतना स्पेस लेकर बना सकते हो, ठीक है? यस मीनाक्षी,
Yes, ma'am.
आप लोगों को देखा नहीं है मैंने, प्लीज स्विच ऑन योर कैमरा so that let me see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just want to feel that yes, I'm speaking to human being. Yes, so those who have not yet joined the WhatsApp group, please join the group so that I can send across the evaluation sheet once again in the group. Okay. I hope I have made myself clear to everyone.
यस मैम। मैम एक्टिविटीज
Yes,
आपने
ma'am.
4.3 तक एक्टिविटीज आपने बता दी हैं, उसके बाद जो एक्टिविटीज हैं मैम 4.3 के बाद जो एक्टिविटीज हैं 4.4 एंड उसके बाद जो हैं।
Let me see. Once I have 4.3. या निकिता 4.3 के बाद
मैम व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में ऐड कौन करेगा? एडमिन कौन है?
आपका नंबर बताओ आप मुझे, आई एम एडिंग यू राइट नाउ।
9999 04
99
99
04
04
yeah
1684 1684।
990499
नो मैम, 999949041684।
041684 बहुत सारा नंबर्स हो गया क्या है I missed somewhere please tell me one number 99
9999
yeah
9999 041684.
it's just reading let me आपको मैंने भेज दिया है इनविटेशन प्लीज एक्सेप्ट इट ओके हेलो
Thank you, ma'am.
yes Kavita ji I have added you I'll be sending the workbook once again and did I miss something in the evaluation sheet that was there
Thank you, ma'am, for adding me.
yeah let me just go through it once again yes we have other questions as well after 4.3.1 we have 4.3.2 where you have to refer to the government's drawing that has been given and develop a male figure template Okay, you need to develop a male figure template, drape the given garment on it, and complete the illustration by using mixed media techniques. Okay, so as you will do for female figure, similarly you can do it for a male figure as well. You will get readily available templates online, or you can also develop your own templates. All right, and over that you can drape this. So the next question is photo analysis of fashion templates. Here, 4.4.1, observe the photograph given below in terms of pose and proportions. Do you do a photo analysis of the same? Do you feel that the photograph that is given here has a good composition? All right, now you need to analyze this in terms of EODs and PODs. Now here you have to combine both elements of design and principles of design, and then you have to analyze this photograph and give your analysis here in the form of write up. Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
here, based on the analysis, you can create a artwork here, the second one. Similarly, 4.4.2 is also having a photograph of two children focusing on the pose and proportions. Okay, you have to choose any one of them and do a photo analysis of the same. If you feel that this pose which has been given here is not correct or is not up to the mark, what is the reason for saying that? You have to give the analysis report here. All right, and change the proportions if you want through a drawing. Okay, now moving on to the next tools, that is about the various CAD
Excuse me,
tools.
ma'am.
Here, type tool in, yes,
Ma'am, we have to write about that or draw.
you need to write also and you need to draw also as a rough sketch. Okay, the actual the the your interpretation has to be drawn here, like what is the wrong that you see here and what should be the actual um interpretation of the images according to you, that has to be drawn here. ଏଇଠି ଅଛି, ଏଇଟା ଅଫ୍ କରିଦିଅ। ଆଉ କିଏ ଅଛନ୍ତି କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି, ଏଇଟା ଅଫ୍ କରିଦିଅ। Yeah, so the next activity is CAD Photoshop. Okay, are you aware of this software called Photoshop? You have learnt about the word. Okay, in the word you have word art. Yes, so here, based on the learning in type tool, okay, choose one word or attribute that defines you. Write in 5 different variations using type tool and place the compositions of the space given below. So for example, you know about the word that was there in the word. Okay, so here wisdom has been represented in different representation techniques. So similarly आप कोई एक word को इस तरीके से अलग अलग views में show कर सकते हो using the word file. Okay, you have the word art उस पे, and that has to be pasted here. So you will work it on the software and print it and paste it here. Now you can also do the collage work. So adjustment library for creating collage. You need to develop a collage and then represent it here. So here you have to, based on your learning of image editing, create a photo collage. Select any one photograph clicked by you and repeat it 6 times to make a collage. ओके, सो यहाँ पर आप कोलाज बनाने के लिए यू विल हैव टू रिपीट इट 6 times using different angles. Okay, and you have to make a collage, photo collage of it, and that has to be printed out and pasted here. This is layering of 3-4 different types of images and putting it in one image to create a composition. So you can click photographs from different sources and you can merge it together. You can use the contrast tool, you can use the balance tool, and then you can change the contrast of it, brightness of contrast of it, and then you can create a artwork which needs to be printed and pasted over here again. Okay, so this is the pen tool again. You can use this drawing on the pen tool and create this kind of artwork. ये सारा सॉफ्टवेयर में करना होगा आपको, and then you have to take out the print and paste it here. ठीक है? Now the last one is your logo creation. आप अपना से all of you create your own hypothetical brand, और आप अपने ब्रांड को क्या नाम देना चाहते हो उसके हिसाब से आप उसके लिए एक लोगो करो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हियर यू कैन सी ये एक हॉस्पिटल का लोगो है, केयर पाल. Care means taking care of someone, pal is your friend, so a caring friend. And the tagline says we होता है जैसे Adidas का tagline is your just do it. ठीक है, तो वैसे ही सारे ब्रांड्स के अपने लोगो होते हैं, उसका नेम ब्रांड नेम होता है, एंड यू हैव अ टैगलाइन. तो आप अपने लिए एक हाइपोथेटिकल ब्रांड क्रिएट करो, एंड on for that brand you create a logo. A logo is basically a small representation which will speak about the entire objective of your brand and represented through a small, you can say a minimalistic representation or a drawing. Okay, आप वो बनाकर वर्ड में बनाना या फोटोशॉप, if you are you are good into Photoshop, you can develop it in the Photoshop software, and then you can take a print of it and paste it here. All right, Nikita,
Yes, ma'am.
समझ में आया आपको?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay then. Thank you everyone. You need to work on it. I am available online all the time. Please post your queries so that I can revert back to your questions. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay guys, thank you.
Thank you. Tata.